I'm going to do a restoration project on my Randall knife. And before I get into what happened and how it's gotten to where it is right now, I want to give you guys a little bit of the backstory. Because to kind of explain why the knife's important to me, in '93, I had just gotten back from a tour in Somalia. I was with 10th Mountain Division, and I'm home on leave. And my dad took me to one of the local knife stores, and uh, he's I'm looking around like a kid in a candy shop, and my dad's like, pick whatever you want. So I'm all bug eyed. He was just happy I was home, and so anyway, I'm looking through the cases of knives and stuff like that, and I see a Randall. I was like, whoa, because I'd heard about them, maybe seen them in a magazine or something like that. And it was a couple skinning knives. They were really cool, but I asked the guy who owned the shop, I said, "Hey, do you have anything else?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." So he goes to the back, comes back in like a minute, and he's got this Model One fighter with an 8-inch blade. It was a stainless steel blade, and I was just over the moon. I think my dad dropped like over $200 on it, and this is back in '93. And so I kept that knife with me everywhere. Went on deployment to Panama with it. When I got out of the army, I did quite a bit of my bushcrafting with it. Love that knife. And fast forward to 2001, maybe 2000, probably 2005. Um, we had a little farm, and we had a rooster that we cared for that got sick, and I needed to put him out of his misery. So, because he was suffering, and put him up on a stump and take out the Randall and swung down really hard to make sure that I ended this quickly. And immediately something did not feel right with the vibration in the knife. Something was off. And not only that, the chicken or the rooster was still alive and looking at me. Very embarrassing. So really quick, I chopped again, and this time I felt the ting of the knife snap right at the guard. Snap clear right off the guard, and the blade went flying one direction. Luckily, it went through the rooster's neck that time, and I was just devastated because like I said, my dad had bought that for me, and this has been something that whenever you trust a tool, really truly trust a tool, and to have it fail you like that utterly, it's it's a blow. It really is. So anyway, I bought this knife secondhand, but I went ahead and contacted Randall and just to let him know, say, hey, this happened, and I got a hold of one of the brothers, uh, and when I explained to him what happened, he's like, "What?" He goes, "Can you send that to us?" And I'm like, "Sure." Wasn't expecting anything. Anyway, he contacted me. This is, well, back in the day. So he contacted me like, I don't know, a couple weeks later on email and said, "Hey, I got the knife, and there was a problem with the stainless steel. You had micro fractures, and we've experienced this before. So tell me, on your new knife, do you want it out of carbon steel or stainless?" And of course, I was ecstatic because I did not expect that. And so, like 3 months later, I had a carbon steel Model One, and they even engraved my name in it. It was super nice, just like my other one. So, fast forward to a few months ago, I had been noticing that here in Costa Rica, my Randall, it kept getting corrosion around that aluminum butt cap and a little bit between the brass and the leather right off the guard. And I'll be posting pics of what I'm talking about. I clean it up, oil it, but it's still like, give it a week or so, and that corrosion will be back. And I finally got worried enough about it that I'm like, I need to get underneath this leather and get under this tang and see what's going on. So I took the knife apart, and that was rough to do. I mean, physically it was easy, but this was a sentimental blade. And my neighbors next door, super nice people, super nice people. Anyway, so I take the knife apart, and it's just covered in rust. I'll be back. Um, I take the aluminum butt cap off, and it's just nothing but corrosion. I get a hold. I start peeling the leather off, the leather washers. It's just rust, rust, rust. My gimbal just died. Anyway, so I get up to the guard, and the entire tang is just covered in rust. And I clean it up and contact Randall and say, hey, this is the deal. Um, I haven't been abusing the knife. I've been oiling it, but it's just got this crazy corrosion on it. Do you guys rehandle it? Because I'll pay to ship it to the States and have you guys rehandle it. And the guy told me, and I quote, if we rehandled our knives, that's all we would be doing. Okay. So got on Bushcraft USA, was asking some of the guys there, and they brought up this interesting possibility. They said that perhaps either the solder or the aluminum butt cap actually had a chemical reaction with the steel, and that's why it had just corroded all the way up and down. They said sometimes that can actually happen. So I was like, okay. So that kind of brings me to now. I just got through taking a blowtorch and taking the original brass guard off of the knife. And here, let me kind of show you. Well, it'll be on the pictures too. So the brass guard is off of the blade now. And this is just, I can't keep the rust off of it. I'm going to clean it up again, and this time bury it in epoxy. I'm hoping that by giving a good clean, I can't seem to find any rust neutralizing agents here in town. So I'm going to clean it up really good down to 80 grit. And immediately after washing it down with alcohol, I'm going to soak it in epoxy whenever I put it into its new handle. And let me show you what I got. Sadly, I don't remember who gave this to me, but it's elk stag or elk horn, elk antler. It's got a little bit of pith there in the center, but I'm going to see if I can work around that. I'm going to have to trim quite a bit off the sides to get it all to fit, but it's got a good feel to it. And the guard is something special, guys. I've got a buddy in Ireland, okay, and Larry O'Brien, and he lives in Waterford. He is a knife maker as well, just all around craftsman. Makes all sorts of stuff. And he was renovating a church there in Ireland. And he told me, he described it as some type of a lamp or chandelier that they were actually taking apart. And he found this and sent it to me. You can see there's the stag there. It's all brass, and a doe right there. The only identifying mark is that 16 right there. This fits the Randall tang. So what I'm going to do is use this as the guard, the elk antler as the grip, and I'm going to rebuild the Randall, because it's important to me. It's something that my dad bought for me, and he passed away a couple years ago. So want to keep this one around. So anyway, that's the backstory of how we got to where we're at right now, and I'm going to take you guys right along with me as we put this thing together.